up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Oh, yeah, baby. It's Football Friday in the doghouse. Jumper Joe's like, oh, I haven't heard this in 4 years. And some things just don't change, my friend. Some things do not change. And it's the greatest single piece of music ever recorded in the history of sports music. Ever. Give me the guitar. Got the white man overbite going. Got the shoulder shrug going. Oh, baby. You know we're going to serenade you all show long with football music. As always. And on top of that, of course, that's a tradition here in the doghouse. That's the only place you'll hear that. 1970 original Monday Night Football music. That's the only place you're going to hear that. But today we also bring you the often imitated, never duplicated Friday trifecta.
It's the holiest day of the week, the Friday trifecta.
It is quite holy, isn't it? This is your chance to win great prizes every week by picking games against the spread. And this is open to everyone who is within the sound of my voice. You could be listening on the stream in Virginia or Georgia or Florida, or you're listening over the air in Alabama or Tennessee. You can get into the Friday trifecta. Now, the games are posted out there on the social platforms, but the only way to get in is on the phone over the next couple of hours or the text window right up until kickoff. Do not hit me in the Facebook or in the X with your picks there. They won't get graded. They just won't. Now, we're going to award 1 point for everyone who gets the first 3 games right. Now, for example, last week, guys getting the first 3 games right and getting a point, Scotty P, Mongo, Martinez, and Don all got a point. But you get the 2 bonus points if you get the 4th game right and you get fed. Everybody who gets 4 gets fed. Richard and Madison last week was the one that got 4, and Richard and Madison got fed. So if you want to jump on board, you jump on board with this deal. All right? So with no further ado, here are your games of the week. And listen, I'm here to tell you, the trifecta is a cupcake-free zone all season long. It's a cupcake-free zone. We're not putting, and by cupcakes, it's not necessarily by the size of the size of the line. By cupcakes, what we're talking about is the P4s versus FCS teams. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about cupcakes. All right, we're not going to have any of those in there. We just don't. There's too many good games. So I have 3 intersectional games involving the SEC versus P4 conferences and an NFL kicker at the end. So here you go. We're going to start at the Big House where Texas.
Don't mess with Texas.
You don't buy a Lincoln because it makes sense. You do it because you love it. Or because you're an Uber driver.
Because you're an Uber driver. That's why you buy a Lincoln. All right, so some of these are a little random, okay? All right, you got to drive, you got to make the tie. Why is Texas, and why are we, Matthew McConaughey, big, huge Texas fan. Don't make me explain everything to you. They're minus 7.5 at Michigan.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And so they're trying hard.
Everyone knows the real conference championship was last Saturday.
I believe that the head coach of Michigan football is one of the finest jobs in American sports today.
Michigan fans are not going to like me. They're going to like, are you going to really play that? You going to keep playing that? Yes, we are. Out on the plains, Cal.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not very tolerant when it comes to the liberals who complain about everything.
Hey, Roger! This guy double check!
Aaron Rodgers, he went to Cal. Iron Mike doesn't like the liberals. It's California. What do you expect? They get 13 and a half at Hugh Freeze and the Auburn Tigers.
Are you guys going to put us in with 3 losses in the playoff?
War Eagle.
Oh, no, Hugh. No, we're not going to put you in with 3 losses in the playoff. No. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Game 3 in Charlotte. North Carolina State.
We tried to recruit bigger, better players to come play for us, but they went to good schools.
The strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.
They get 10 and a half against Tennessee.
You can't spell citrus without UT.
I can assure you that the gap is closing.
It's closing. And in our bonus, our NFL game for our bonus, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Man, the Pittsburgh Steelers need a new fucking offensive coordinator. This guy sucks.
They get 2.5 in the ATL.
The Falcons are headed to the Super Bowl!
Yeah, maybe. You never know. Now, Brandon wanted to adjust the trifecta so that you guys could pick your own trifecta. You know, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. All right. I'm not going to make it so you just pick your own. No, that's not going to happen. But I could see something blended there at some point in time. I actually was thinking about that. Like 3 games from me, I'll put up the trifecta, and then you pick whatever game you want to be your bonus game. You just pick a game to be your bonus game. I could see doing that. What do you think about that? I give you 3 games, and then you say, okay, my bonus game is, and I want, boom. I'm open to that. I look, I'm not a dinosaur. I'm open to some kind of change. It's not like I'm like locked into the same thing all the time. I'm open to change. The only way to get in is on the phone lines, 256-576-4977. Or you can text the show, 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. And those of you listening on ESPN 1340-1069 in Winchester, this is your time to show your football chops. Go ahead and get in. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. ESPN Winchester is at ESPN Winchester. That makes sense. Find the show on the YouTube at WZZN TV and get the app. You need the app. We got another slammed night tonight of high school football. I mean, so do you guys over there at the WCDT. You know, you got Franklin County. I get that. You got the Huntland game. I get that. But I think Huntland played last night. I may be making that up. Did Huntland play last night? What was the score of the Huntland game? I think they played last night. I'll have to have Joe Anthony let us know what happened in that one. But on the air on 97.7 ESPN, it'll be Buckhorn and Gadsden City. Gadsden City's really good. They're the defending champions of the region, of 6A Region 8. Well, Buckhorn's going to have to play good, clean football. They have a shot in that one. That's tonight on the air and on primary feed. Huntsville and Grissom, huge rivalry game. That one will be on Talk Radio 2. So you got to have the Talk Radio app, or at the Zone app, you can find the link to that as well. You can check that out with Michael Seal and Drew DeArmond. Got to keep Drew in the stands. Got to keep Drew in the booth. Because Huntsville Grissom, I mean, that's can get a little chippy sometimes. A little chippy. Madison Academy looking for the first one of the season is at DAR. They should get it tonight. Steve Moulton, Glenn Laird on that one. Randolph has Plainview in. That's on zone 3. Madison Academy's on zone 2. Randolph and Plainview are on zone 3. That's got the Bailey Lowry and Tyler Johnson, who has been outstanding right off the jump with us, is a color commentator. On zone 4, Jumpin' Joe Hunk and Captain Cool will have Sparkman at Austin. Sparkman looking for their first win. That's on zone 4 tonight. And over on the zone 5, Westminster and St. John Paul II Catholic, the Holy War on zone 5. Logan Moranis and Jimmy Lay have that one. They have been really good too. Not saying the other guys have. I'm just saying they've been really good so far to this point. We got a lot going on. To help you with the trifecta today, our only Friday guest is Lee Sterling, back from ParamountSports.com. What a game in Kansas City last night as the Chiefs hold off a furious rally by Baltimore. Now, by now, you have seen the toe of Isaiah Likely on the back line of the end zone on the final play of the game. Really, I got to be honest with you, it's not even his toe. I don't think it's his toe. I mean, they keep saying, look, his toe. It's the tip of his shoe. His toe is inside the shoe, and I bet the toe wasn't even on the line. The toe was probably good. It was the tip of the shoe. The very tip, if anything, it was like a little bit of his toenail. It was the tip of the shoe that was out of bounds. But really, it shouldn't have come down to that play at all, since Lamar Jackson missed 2 wide open guys in the end zone on the 2 previous plays. And therein lies the rub with that guy. I mean, it was a microcosm of his entire career. He's an MVP in a regular season, can't win a big playoff game. 100 yards rushing, 300 yards passing, misses guys wide open at crunch time. I just don't think he has that clutch gene. I mean, there's just something missing. Just don't think he has it. In the meantime, the Chiefs rolled out their new toy, Xavier Worthy from Texas. See him on that end around? It was like a seed coming out of a grape. Bing! He came up huge with a rushing and a receiving touchdown in his debut. And this is going to be one of those deals where the 27 teams that picked before the Chiefs will be like, wait, what? Huh? You realize that Xavier Worthy was the 5th wide receiver taken. 5th wide receiver taken. The other teams are going to be like 3 years from now. They'll be like, what do you mean he was the 5th wide receiver taken? Who are the 4 guys that got taken before him? Of course, those other 4 guys don't have Patrick Mahomes. He may have something to do with that. You look at the quarterbacks that the other guys have. You know what I mean? Malik Neighbors is like, who do I got? I got this Daniel Jones dude. What, are you kidding me? Will he even be the quarterback next year? You know, Marvin Harrison Jr. is like, Kyler Murray, wasn't he supposed to be a baseball player? Isn't he supposed to be playing center field for the A's or something? I mean, that dude. It's crazy. All right, back in Mission Control. Playing the Planets That Matter, the Stacks of Wax, answering the phones. Living large and in charge on a Friday. It's Jumpin' Joe Hunk.
Baby shark, baby shark. Hello, I'm looking for some horsemen.
I've got plenty. How many you need?
4.
4 horsemen. Can't hardly understand what you're saying, but...
Sorry, I got a little bit of a list.
If I saw myself in clothes like those, I'd have to kick my own ass.
Tom, can you get me off the hook? Road type safe.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I'd put this thing together out of spit and polish.
What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is. And this is important because let's do that third one. They hit that little tank, get that heroic ability.
Satisfaction is guaranteed. So passionate.
Jordan!
So long as lives in the sea, you can't have what's left of me. And as far as I can tell.
I mean, Joe, how good was the American dream on the mic. I mean, God, he was so good, man.
So
his kid can't hold a candle to him.
Okay,
man.
now his kid's amazing. Now hold on.
He's a phony. That kid, and there's no way that kid would have won. Who did he beat? He beat a big guy.
Roman Reigns.
There's no way. Let me tell you something. If a street fight breaks out and it's Roman Reigns and that kid, what do they call him?
Cody,
the American Nightmare.
The American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes.
Let me tell you something. Cody Rhodes would get his ever-living bleep kicked out of him by Roman Reigns if they actually ever fought.
Yeah, what's really funny is now in the city of Atlanta, there are actually Georgia Tech fans that are buying Roman Reigns' Georgia Tech uniform, like with his actual name on the back of it, and they're wearing them to games now just because they're wrestling fans and they love Roman Reigns.
Well, they used to do that. They used to do that with Goldberg.
They did that with Goldberg,
Georgia, and of course,
Rock.
Rocky Johnson, you know, down there in Miami.
Yep.
They did that stuff. But look, I think The Rock's the best there ever was on the mic. I really do. But right there is the American dream.
So
I mean, he was funny as hell.
I went down a rabbit hole over the summer, and I started learning about Ric Flair and learning about all the territory days and everything. And so it's got me going down a rabbit hole of going back and watching old Starcades from the 80s, and every single one of them has the dream on it, and it is amazing to see like his evolution is coming from the guy he was, and as he evolved as a wrestler. And I think it's like 1987 right now, and he's like skinny and he has like a buzzed head and everything. It was right before he goes to WWE, and those promos are absolutely amazing because I always saw him in like the t-shirt and the jeans, and like at the very first Starcade he's showing up in a suit, like a 3-piece suit, and he's like, I'm challenging the winner to this one right here, baby, so just make sure that whenever you gonna get ready, you're gonna be Mason and you're gonna be facing the American Dream coming up next Starcade. And it was just like, this man talked with a lisp, and he was one of the dirtiest talkers in the world. It was so amazing to listen to.
Someday when it's not Football Friday, have you ever heard the whole thing in that one where he's calling people from that radio station?
Sorry, I think with the lisp.
Hilarious. It is. I'm sorry, man. I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It is hilarious, but we'll play that someday when we got. Where did I go, Joe? All I see is you over there.
Because you haven't even hopped in yet.
Oh, I didn't hop in?
No, you haven't hopped in. It was one thing I was going to tell you is it's amazing. You haven't hopped in yet. So I get the whole screen to myself because you haven't even hopped in just yet. By the way, as you were talking, letting you know that Huntland did play last night, by the way. They beat Cascade 40-7 to go to 2-1 on the season.
That game was on our sister station up there, WCDT.
Yep. Yes.
So good job by those guys. Why didn't I get in? I mean, what am I doing?
I don't know.
I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you're there now.
I don't get it.
Yeah, you're there now. We're rolling.
Man, I got to get rid of the sound over here. It's been one of those days, Joe.
Trust me, I got it because you got your Buckhorn gear on. You're getting ready for Buckhorn high school football. We've got Moulton's in the studio right now, getting ready to head to Dar. Yes, I call them Dar because I hate them. And then also you've got myself and Baby A behind me getting ready to head to Sparkman here in just a little. I actually head to Austin for Sparkman.
Is he doing who does the spotting chart? Does he do it or do you do it?
We both do our own, as a matter of fact. We have our own ways of going about it. Last week I went kind of over the top with a new one. And so I've got that one being built up right now so that I can send it in to get printed off before we head over to Decatur.
Well, let me know if you ever need mine because I could shoot it to you if you need to to use it. But in any event, all right, good stuff. Let's get a break in here. When we come back, phone lines, the first phone segment. So go ahead and get on this Friday trifecta, 256-576-4977. Line them up and let's make some picks next on the Thom Abraham Show.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Situated downtown on Clinton Avenue, you'll find the Church Street family's take on delicious seafood and more. Sea Salt. At Sea Salt, the food speaks for itself. Fresh oysters, shrimp and lobster, and non-seafood fare. Plus a large selection of wines, regional and local beers on tap, and a full bar. Catch the downtown vibe with Sea Salt's unique outdoor city street and patio seating with a view of Jesse Andrews' mural, bringing an underwater world to life. No reservations necessary. Sea Salt, 114 Clinton Avenue.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? It might be in a call center somewhere, maybe 100 miles away, but my phone rings in my office.
The Lackey Law Firm.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're here. We're the ones who take your call.
And get what you deserve.
You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And this is the most important part. We'll treat you like family because that's exactly what we are.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
That would sound a little weak. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
It's a starter fight song.
Whose fight song is that?
JSU.
Oh, is it? Okay, I wouldn't have. Yeah, they got some work to do. Get that taste of that beating that they took last week as a 3.5-point favorite in their game out of their mouth. Welcome back. Thom Abraham Show. Glad that you are with us. Phone lines are open 256-576-4977. It is the Friday Trifecta. I do have some games here for you to work. By the way, baseball note, the New York Mets have drawn dead even with the Atlanta Braves. So the Mets and the Braves will go into the weekend, with the exact same record. Both are 76-64. And we'll see what happens next. They're both playing interleague games. The Braves have the Toronto Blue Jays. So we'll see how that works out as well. All right, let's get to the lines. We start with the Philip. Philip, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm so disgusted, Tom. It's not even funny.
What are you disgusted about?
The Baltimore Jackets. Why do they even call them the Ravens anymore? If I hear how great John Harbaugh is one more time, I'm going to puke.
I thought you were going to say that about Lamar Jackson, because Chris Collinsworth it was gross. I mean, he would not shut up about how great Lamar Jackson is. Like he's the greatest quarterback ever. And then at one point, you're talking about how he had lost the weight, and look at how much better he looks this year than last year, running the ball. And they put the graphic up, and at one point he had 8 carries for 68 yards. And then they showed last year in the AFC Championship game, he had 8 carries for 54 yards. So he for 57 yards. He had 9 more yards last night in 8 carries. He was averaging a yard a carry more than last year. And Chris Collinsworth was talking about Lamar Jackson like he is like a unicorn, like the greatest quarterback that ever walked the face of the earth. The guy who's like 2-4 in the playoffs.
He's a bum. Name me a Super Bowl team in the history of the Super Bowl who did it with one person. Am I wrong? Did they not get Derrick Henry as a running back?
Oh, they did. Yeah, he scored a touchdown in the first drive.
With that?
13 carries. Let me tell you who Derrick Henry is. Derrick Henry is exactly who he was last year for the Titans. 13 carries for 46 yards, averaged 3.5 yards a carry. Derrick Henry has turned into Eddie George at the end of his career. Derrick Henry's, remember when Eddie George went to the Cowboys and he averaged 3 yards a carry? That's where Derrick Henry is. I think Derrick Henry is spent. I mean, there might be a moment here or there. He averaged, I don't know, I might be lying. Joe can check it out, what he averaged last year for the Titans. But he averaged 3.5 yards a carry on 13 carries. You know, his big run last night was a 9-yarder.
But at the end of the day, it is a football team, not a football player. Name the great quarterbacks. Pick them yourself. They didn't do it by themselves.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson is a egotistical maniac who wants to do it all by himself. And it's never worked, and it will never work. Michael Vick was a freak. People loved watching Michael Vick. Michael Vick was not a designed player the way that they're letting Lamar Jackson run this football team all by himself. Michael Vick, freak athlete. He made stuff happen due to necessity of things. That's when he would break people's ankles trying to catch them. But it wasn't the Michael Vick show. It wasn't the Peyton Manning show. Peyton Manning used players. Troy Aikman used players. Steve Young used players. Joe Montana used players. What's his freaking name for the Chiefs right now? Uses players.
Yeah.
This obsession with giving bozos like this MVPs for the season is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
They win a lot of regular season games. They win a lot of regular season games. He's the MVP of fantasy football. He has great fantasy football numbers. But in the big moment, I'm still waiting for Lamar Jackson to do something significant in the big moment. He missed 2 guys wide open in the end zone on that last drive. I mean, it's the Lamar Jackson story. It just is.
It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's never going to
It didn't happen for him in college. I'll be honest with you. He won the Heisman Trophy at Louisville, but again, didn't really win it's not like they were a national champion. Not like they beat anybody really big in his college career.
This goes back to the late Rush Limbaugh with Donovan McNabb, when Donovan McNabb was not near the quarterback that everybody claimed that he was at the time, but he was the black quarterback. And God, you're going to hell if you say Donovan McNabb is not a super great quarterback because he's black.
Well, at that point in time, too, there wasn't a lot of there weren't a lot of black quarterbacks at that point, and Donovan McNabb was getting a little bit more love than he probably deserved. But the bigger question is, forget race. The bigger question is, name me the mobile quarterbacks. I mean, the highly mobile. Everybody's always gaga over a dual-purpose quarterback, which are great in college. But name me the mobile quarterbacks that win the championship in the NFL. I mean, you got more guys that are, I don't consider Patrick Mahomes can make a play with his feet. There's no doubt. But Patrick Mahomes is a passing quarterback. The all of these mobile type quarterbacks. All right, very, very rich. Steve Young won a championship. Russell Wilson won a championship, and he was very, very mobile at the time when he won a championship. For the most part, though, I mean, you could also counter that with people like Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson, who won Super Bowls. You know what I mean? Because they were facilitators, and they were able to, play a certain way. Jeff Hostetler won a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So, it's just reality.
It was so disgusting and you mentioned Collinsworth. I wanted to just.
Oh God, it was awful. It was awful. Tirico's good. Collinsworth has just gotten to the point where it's terrible.
And terrible. How about this? How about the Chiefs? At the beginning of the game, this is what a class organization this is. They mentioned the poor young lady who was doing nothing but minding her business, celebrating at the parade, gets shot to death. And within 2 minutes later, they're talking about the Chiefs have the greatest fan base in the history of the world. And never mention a recent school shooting just a couple of days ago in America.
That thing was planned
in a school that doesn't even get mentioned.
That thing was planned though, months in advance that they were going to honor her. The school shooting thing had just popped up, so they could have said something like, a moment of silence now for the victims of the school shooting in Atlanta. They could have stopped for 30 seconds and done that. They probably should have pivoted to that. But the thing with the woman that was a Chiefs fan that got shot at the parade, and that's not a shot against their fans. I mean, it's just because some lunatic is out there, shooting somebody. You're painting with a broad brush if you say, well, Chief fans aren't great fans because a fan got shot. But that is something that was planned. We knew about that for months that they were going to do that. And then all of a sudden you have a school shooting in Atlanta.
Anyway, I don't know. That's just how I saw it. But the whole.
By the way, you're going down Sunday. You're 0-1 Sunday. But when your Cowboys get done with my Browns, you will be 0-1 Sunday, licking wounds going back to Dallas. I just want you to know that this is, you versus me on Sunday. So you're in trouble.
No. Cowboys got that game down. Oh my! When's the last time? What's your quarterback's name again?
Deshaun Watson.
What is it?
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. Yeah. When is the last time he threw 2 touchdown passes in a game?
Against the Ravens, when they beat the Ravens, and then he was hurt. He was 12 of 14 in the first half, and then the next thing you know, he went down injured. And played
when was that, in 2020?
No, last year when he got hurt. He's a China doll. I know that, but he'll get through that game. And Amari Cooper's going to score 2 touchdowns just to stick it in your ear for doing what you guys did to Amari Cooper.
No.
Same. All right, we'll see. Call me on Monday.
All right, we'll do your thingamajigger.
All right. Texas is giving 7.5. All right, Texas minus 7.5 at Michigan. Did he go away?
Yeah, he gone.
Oh,
yeah.
Last thing I heard him say was, "Let's do your thingamajigger."
Oh, yeah, he gone.
And he gone.
By the way, to answer some of yours, Deshaun Watson's last game throwing 2 touchdown passes was against Arizona. That was week 8 of the season last year.
Mm-hmm.
And Derrick Henry actually averaged 4.2 yards rushing last season on 280 carries. He only had 8 more carries than Christian McCaffrey, who led the NFL in rushing yards.
So he had 2 feet per carry more last year than he did this year. I'm telling you, I think the guy is spent. I love him. I absolutely love him. But I think we could see that it was going downhill. I think he's spent. I do. That's just me, though. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, phone lines remain open. You want to get into the trifecta? You go ahead and do it. The thingamajig is live right now on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
He'll gain only a half yard, and now second effort. Did they blow it? They did not! They did not! They couldn't bring down Pacheco!
The NFL season is officially underway. The action courtesy of the Chiefs Radio Network in Thursday night's season opening 27-20 win over the Ravens. Last night's game, a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. Patrick Mahomes, 20 of 28 passing for 291 yards with a touchdown, 1 interception. Kansas City was favored by 2.5. The over was 47. Tonight in San Paulo, Brazil, the Eagles and Packers battle. Philadelphia by 2.5. Green Bay plus 110. The over under 49.5. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling sluggish? Gentlemen, Game Day Men's Health. Game Day Men's Health is here to help you. Braden is here. Braden, you've got the answers.
Thanks, Scott. Whether it's low T, erectile dysfunction, weight loss, or a number of other things, we have a solution for them.
It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call today at
256-850-1570.
You can find them online.
GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, what man wouldn't like to have tests done in a man cave?
That's right. Come in for your free test and consultation, walk into a world-class staff, a comfortable, relaxed environment, and we got your results in about 20 minutes with appointments less than an hour.
And the big game is always on the TV. It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call.
256-850-1570.
You can find them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com /Huntsville /The Zone.
Situated downtown on Clinton Avenue, you'll find the Church Street family's take on delicious seafood and more. Sea Salt. At Sea Salt, the food speaks for itself. Fresh oysters, shrimp and lobster, and non-seafood fare. Plus a large selection of wines, regional and local beers on tap, and a full bar. Catch the downtown vibe with Sea Salt's unique outdoor city street and patio seating with a view of Jesse Andrews' mural, bringing an underwater world to life. No reservations necessary. Sea Salt, 114 Clinton Avenue.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly to mostly cloudy sky through a good majority of the afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. Maybe a rogue shower across the Tennessee Valley, but just like the last several days, most of us are probably going to end up staying dry. We drop into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. The weekend looks absolutely fantastic. We're talking about a mostly to partly sunny sky. Temperatures only climbing into the low 80s. No rain. Oh, and by the way, it's not going to be humid. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Catch the Tide every Saturday. Hi, this is Chris Stewart of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Listen to Alabama football on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
Bo Nix, by the way, made a captain of the Denver Broncos, a rookie captain. It's the first time since 1967 that the Broncos have had a rookie as a captain. And, just Auburn fans just have to look back and say, how did we screw that up? I mean, how did we screw that up? I mean, Bo Nix was there for
pick me.
He was there for 3 years, and then he goes off to Oregon and becomes a top draft pick. Now he's the starting quarterback at Denver. They make him a captain. What the hell were you doing with this guy for 3 years at Auburn?
2 words. Gus Malzahn.
Man. Didn't Harsin him for a year too? Or no?
By then, though, his foot was already out the door. He was halfway gone anyway. But and the offense was an awful use of his talent to begin with. But yeah, no, Malzahn totally screwed this up. It's the one instance where I actually wish Auburn would have used their cheating ways and actually hired Bo Nix's dad to be his quarterback coach. Like if they would have just let him continue to teach him, he would have developed at Auburn the way that he did out in Oregon. But then Oregon goes out and actually teaches him how to play better.
I don't know what it was. I don't know if he had to get out of the shadow, of being a legacy kid or what the deal was, but I liked him when they drafted him. I thought he was, I think he has great upside. If you told me in 4 years that Bo Nix is a better NFL quarterback than Caleb Williams, I would not be shocked in the least. I hate to say that to you, Chicago Bear fan. And I hate it for the Bears because of Ryan Poles and my relationship with the family. And, I hate to say that for Ryan Poles. It was very emotional watching him with the hard knocks and how difficult it was for him to do cuts and things like that. Ryan is just really, really good people. And he and his dad and I were roommates when we were coaching together at St. John Fisher College, and was very close to his dad, Junior. And Ryan was a little kid that played with my kids, and played in turkey bowls and things like that. I've known that kid his whole life, just about. And so I want him to be successful, but I don't like Caleb Williams. So it's going to be hard to pull for the Bears. My cousin Vinny is up. Vincenzo, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing great, Tom. You doing well?
I am fantastic on a football Friday.
Well, it doesn't get any better than this, I'm telling you. Just wanted to let you know I won't be coming to the DFL next year.
Why?
I won't. Well, I'm going to the Canadian Football League practice squad draft.
Oh, okay.
So I can draft Talia Tagovailoa.
Yeah,
okay,
get Talia.
With
yeah,
with my number
CFL,
one pick.
CFL fantasy. Yeah.
Yeah, CFL fantasy practice squad.
Yeah, practice squads. Yeah. Practice
That's
squads. Good thing. It's a good thing he needed that 50 gur. No wonder he was asking for 50 gur to play in the bowl game, because he wasn't going to make any money as a pro. He needed to make it before he left.
Well, he needed it for firewood for his furnace, for his firewood stove up there, and
a wood burning stove.
Yeah. So, but anyway, hey, Joe Hunk seems to be settling right in, huh?
He's coming right back. He's settling right back in. Joe, I don't know if you know the history of my cousin Vinny. You probably don't, right? You don't know why he's my cousin Vinny?
No, I know the movie though.
I can't even remember what his real name is, but he calls the show last year during the summer, and he's like, so I got a friend that has a brother-in-law that is in the dormitory at Alabama, and they tell me that Dylan Lonergan, he's a walk-on with the Tide, and Dylan Lonergan's actually going to be the starting quarterback for Alabama. I'm like, what do you mean? I got my cousin Vinny, so I started calling him my cousin Vinny because he knows somebody who has a sister-in-law whose cousin is aunts with the backup quarterback walk-on at Alabama, and they told him that Dylan Lonergan was going to be the quarterback at Alabama.
Isn't that kind of sounding like the same way the LSU Lynch knows me? That's almost the exact same breakdown.
It's exactly like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like LSU
breakdown.
Lynch, by the way, is very ticked off right now. He's like, yeah, you're wearing that crap again, and because he's a Hazel Green guy, and I'm wearing a Buckhorn pullover here. Gotta go to my game here tonight. And he's already starting on me. He's calling me a jackass and everything else because I got a Buckhorn pullover on. What's he going to do next week when it's the Cotton Classic that I'm wearing Buckhorn gear? Yeesh. Anyway, go ahead, Vinny.
Well, you know why I'm a Buckhorn guy, right? During the Classic, we mentioned it last year.
Sure.
You know, I was dating a girl from Hazel Green, and she dumped me when her ex-husband got out of prison. So I always pull for Buckhorn. So.
She told me when her ex-husband got out of prison.
There's also her dealer.
Joe, what bet did you lose for a haircut like that? Tom, you let him on the air with a haircut like that. He looks like the third bushwhacker.
He's had that thing for 15 years probably.
Look,
it used to be just high and tight, and then it started getting tighter. It used to be just he shaved the sides and he had high and tight, looked like he was military, and he looked like I thought he was G.I. Joe. You know what I mean? He looked like John Cena in a military movie. And then the next thing you know, it started getting more and more and more tighter. And now he's got a bacon strip across his head.
Yeah, I lost a bet with my hairline is what it is. And so the hairline keeps getting tighter and tighter.
I think you got a lot of hairline. I see the stubbies on the sides there. You got a lot of hair.
Well, it's the widow's peak. Like, you look up hair, I look up hairstyles and what looks good with widow's peaks, and majority of them are boring haircuts. So what I did is I just found one that looked the most interesting. But look, I'll tell you, look, that my wife is kind of over the mohawk. But if there was ever a way for me to get rid of the widow's peaks, I'm here for it, and I will gladly get rid of the mohawk if it means that I get rid of the widow's peaks.
Where are the widow's peaks? On the sides there, up here on the side, in this
area?
area?
I'm going to show this on WZZN TV. It's right here on the sides of it. Look.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right there on the sides.
But if it's tight enough, if you got like a flat top, you're still peaking.
It looks more like an arrow. Then it's kind of like an arrow that points right down to my eyebrows. Is if I let it grow out on the side of it to do the high and tight.
It is. I will say this: it's one of the best. It's one of the best mohawks that you've had yet. All right, I will say that this one is straight because there are times when your mohawk is like cockeyed, and it wanders across the back and down to the back. But I think it's time. I mean, your kids are going to be old enough to recognize, and they're going to be wondering, "Hey, Pop, what's going on? Are we supposed to wear our hair like that too?"
My son spent the summer with a mohawk, and my wife hated it because she went, "Great. The only reason he wants this is because of you. It's the only reason."
And I told somebody you were 42 years old.
No, I just turned 40. Just turned 40.
Oh, you're 40. Okay, that makes sense.
Like 2 weeks ago.
You started with me, you were 20, right? I mean, so it was 20 years ago, and we were one of the first interns that we had. So, it was 20 years ago when I got to the Valley, and I think you were about 20.
Yeah, I was 20 because right when I started working with you, it was probably like a month or two later is when my 21st birthday was. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. All right, Vinny, give me your picks. The Texas Longhorns are -7.5 at Michigan.
Boy, I hate Michigan, you know that, but I've had it up to my eyebrows with Texas. I'm done with them listening to those Texas people and their fans yap all year. Let's go with Michigan, huh?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And so they're trying hard.
Cal gets 13.5 at Auburn.
Auburn.
Are you guys going to put us in with 3 losses in the playoff?
NC State gets 10.5 at UT.
Tennessee.
I can assure you that the gap is closing.
And the Steelers get 2.5 at the Falcons.
The Falcons are 2.5-point favorites.
Yes, they are.
Okay, let's go with Atlanta.
The Falcons Falcons are headed to the Super Bowl.
All right, we got you in, man. Have a great weekend,
All
man.
right. Have a good weekend, everybody. See you.
I don't want to influence anybody, but I'm going to say this, Joe. The Steelers are 59-35, 63% against the spread as an underdog under Mike Tomlin. They have the best record in the last 20 years in the NFL as an underdog. Whenever they're the underdog, 63%, that's against the spread. So just be careful going against the Steelers. All right, we get a break. We'll come back. Maybe have time to stick one in. We'll set you up for the second hour of the show next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Next time you're online looking for landscaping inspiration, open Instagram and check out Southern Gent Landscaping. They can help make your yard your dream outdoor oasis. Southern Gent Landscaping can handle it all, from landscape maintenance and installation to irrigation and hardscapes, even AstroTurf. Turn your yard into a landscape you'll be proud to show off. Call Southern Gent Landscaping at 256-509-6088. 509-6088. Southern Gent Landscaping. Professional landscaping performed with satisfaction guaranteed. Situated downtown on Clinton Avenue, you'll find the Church Street family's take on delicious seafood and more. Sea Salt. At Sea Salt, the food speaks for itself. Fresh oysters, shrimp and lobster, and non-seafood fare. Plus a large selection of wines, regional and local beers on tap, and a full bar. Catch the downtown vibe with Sea Salt's unique outdoor city street and patio seating with a view of Jesse Andrews' mural, bringing an underwater world to life. No reservations necessary. Sea Salt, 114 Clinton Avenue.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly to mostly cloudy sky through a good majority of the afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. Maybe a rogue shower across the Tennessee Valley, but just like the last several days, most of us are probably going to end up staying dry. We drop into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. The weekend looks absolutely fantastic. We're talking about a mostly to partly sunny sky. Temperatures only climbing into the low 80s. No rain. Oh, and by the way, it's not going to be humid. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the
All right, that sounds like the music that ends the hour. So I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm going to tell you that coming up at the top of the hour, Lee Sterling will join us. Did you hear that weather forecast? Low humidity, high 70s, low 80s. brilliant sunshine Saturday and Sunday, and we have to stay inside all weekend and watch football.
Kickoff in Chicago for Titans and Bears. The kickoff temperature is 68 degrees.
Oh, glorious. We got to stay inside and watch games all weekend. I hate it when the weather's beautiful like that. We got to stay inside. All right, coming up, Lee Sterling will join us next. ParamountSports.com right here on the Thom Abraham Show. Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash and the freezer's free and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Celebrate and honor those who have served our country. The annual Military Tribute Night at Toyota Field is Saturday, September 14th. For the 5th straight year, the USA Patriots amputee softball team will square off with the local veterans of AUSA. The patriotic extravaganza will be capped off by a post-game fireworks spectacular. Tickets are $10. Get yours at trashpandasbaseball.com/events.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, another move in what has been a busy offseason in Miami. ESPN's Adam Schefter's reporting the Dolphins and quarterback Jalen Ramsey agreed on a 3-year extension, $24 million a season, makes him the highest paid corner in NFL history, for the second time in his career. Previously this offseason, Miami got extensions done with quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, receiver Jalen Waddle, and coach Mike McDaniel also reworked receiver Tyreek Hill's deal. Questions about the status of Steelers quarterback Russell Wilson against the Falcons Sunday. Limited at practice yesterday with tightness in the same calf he injured during training camp. If Wilson can't play, Justin Fields goes in his place. U.S. Open men's semis on ESPN. Top seed Yannick Sinner faces Jack Draper, 3 Eastern. And then an All-American matchup under the lights. Francis Tiafoe, Taylor Fritz at 7 Eastern.
Situated downtown WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Follow the Tide right here. Hi, this is Chris Stewart of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Your home of all things Bama is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Roll Tide.
Situated downtown on Clinton Avenue, you'll find the Church Street family's take on delicious seafood and more. Sea Salt. At Sea Salt, the food speaks for itself. Fresh oysters, shrimp and lobster, and non-seafood fare. Plus a large selection of wines, regional and local beers on tap, and a full bar. Catch the downtown vibe with Sea Salt's unique outdoor city street and patio seating with a view of Jesse Andrews' mural, bringing an underwater world to life. No reservations necessary. Sea Salt, 114 Clinton Avenue.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? My phone rings in my office.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're the ones who take your call.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on. That's my dog. Now live. Here he is, the big dog, Thom Abraham.
How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Hale McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn. I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Welcome back, hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show on a Football Friday. This segment of the show is brought to you by Owen Home Appliance Center, featuring the biggest names in home appliances, plus some you may not know, but offer tremendous value. Go down to the Lacey Springs showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, and you're going to find a totally interactive showroom down there where you can hear dishwashers washing and freezers freezing, and the cookies can be baked in the double oven for you as well. Just stay away from my outdoor kitchen. Just stay away from my outdoor kitchen. It's over there in the corner. I'm pulling the trigger on it. Stay away from my outdoor kitchen down there at Owen Home Appliance Center. Mike Owen and his crew doing a tremendous job for you. And by the way, while supplies last and you're buying that great freezer, whether it's a chest freezer or an upright, you get the free, and now check that, you get a $50 gift card towards the purchase of Wagyu beef when you buy a freezer from Owen Home Appliance. All right, joining us now, a guy who might know a thing or two about an outdoor kitchen, does a tremendous job from his home in Miami, Florida, is where he joins us. Paramount Sports' own Lee Sterling. Lee, welcome in. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain. Went 8-1 for our clients last weekend, 10-2 overall.
Wow.
Since the start of the season, and also my Canes. Finally, took me 22 years to get this team turned around. So
yeah. They look like a real team. They look like they look like the team in the ACC right now, because that conference looks like it's a mess.
Oh, I mean, outside of Miami, who's left? I mean, maybe Louisville or I don't know.
Maybe it's Georgia Tech. I can't figure out why Georgia Tech's only a 2-point favorite at Syracuse. That's blowing my mind. If they're seeing Georgia Tech the first 2 weeks, I mean, it just seems weird. You know, it seems like something's wrong there on that one. But I have a quandary maybe you can help me with. I'm not sure. So we just heard a weather forecast for the Tennessee Valley. It's going to be between 78 and 82 degrees all weekend long, crystal blue skies, brilliant sunshine, 40% humidity, low temperatures. It's spectacular. And I've been wanting to build this outdoor kitchen with the outdoor kitchen set that I'm buying from Owen Home Appliance Center. And I'm going to put a big TV out there in the outdoor kitchen. So if I'm watching the games in the outdoor kitchen, would that be considered an outside activity? Because I hate the fact that I got to watch football all weekend long and it's going to be spectacular weather. So can I count that as an outdoor activity if I watch the games on an outdoor TV?
If you dip 3 toes in the water.
See, this is Tennessee. We don't have pools. This is Alabama and then North. Yeah, we don't have pools up there. It's not.
Are you going to maybe throw the ball around a little bit, maybe 4 or 5 times?
Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe a commercial break.
Outdoor activity.
Outdoor activity. There you go. We'll consider it. Certainly, if there was a pool. I've thought about a pool. I need to. That would be nice, to do a pool.
What I do is I go in the pool. I sit on my raft, and I have the music playing.
Yeah.
And my wife, I just don't respond to anything for like 2 hours during the summer.
And that's fine in the summer. My daughter and her fiance, they have a big pool area, and they've got 2 good size flat screens that you can see from in the pool. That's the way to go in the fall. I mean, you just get in the pool, watch the game from in the pool.
There also. So I mean, during the season, I play basketball on Sunday morning, 7:30 in the morning. I jump in the pool for about 5-10 minutes, and that's it. That's the only pool time I've got. So
wow,
it's pool time starts like March and goes through the last weekend in August.
I hear you. All right, let's get to these games. Some of these, all of these, or several of these, I should say, we have in our Friday trifecta. So you're helping our listeners out. I don't, this tennis, nobody's getting 7.5 anymore. I'm seeing 10, 9.5, 10, 10.5, Tennessee and NC State in a neutral site in Charlotte. What do you think about Tennessee? And let's stretch it all the way to say 9.5, because I don't think 7.5 anybody's getting that no more.
Right. Yeah, there's mainly 9.5 and 10s, and the public loves Tennessee.
Yeah.
And if you watch their offense, Nico is. How many kids do you think are going to be kids and animals named Nico next couple of years?
There'll be a lot in the state of Tennessee, I'm sure.
You would have well, if you were a Vols fan, probably Nico would be Nico 1 and Nico 2. So
yeah,
but we know you're not a Vols fan. So here's what's crazy about this game. I think that Tennessee's really good, but they have one major weakness, and they can score. They got 6, 7, 8 receivers. You can only play like 4 or 5 at a time.
Right.
I think they have the worst defensive backs possibly in the conference. And I think North Carolina State, if you watch the first 3 quarters of that game last week, Grayson McCall was awful. He was almost DJ Ugalele-esque. He was high, low, wide, behind his receiver, at their feet. It was that bad. And then all of a sudden, I'll never forget this, 14:45 left in the game. He hit a completion across the middle, and everything changed. It looked like he was in his old self. And that's what happens sometimes. You get these transfers that come in. It just takes a while to get clicking. So most people, if they stop watching that game, they love Tennessee. I think North Carolina State's going to be a tough out. I think they have the best receiver in the game, Casey Concepcion. I think that Noah Rogers, more than capable, and I love their tight end, Justin Jolly. And even Jordan Walters. He was terrible. He fumbled 3 times, the former Duke running back. He had 123 yards, but those fumbles were costly. They lost 2 of the 3. I think this is a game that goes down to the wire. You know what? I'm going to call for them to win the game outright. Wrongly favored. North Carolina State outright, 38-34.
Holy mackerel. So those of you that are playing the game, hang out, because I think it's still going up. You might get 10, 10.5. You could get 10.5. So take all the points you can get.
No injuries, nothing.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So there you go. It's on NC State there in that one. All right. This one here, this number felt inflated. If I was Michigan, I'd be embarrassed to be at home a 7-point dog to anybody when I'm the defending national champion. Texas laying 6.5. Again, that's grown to 7.5 now. Going to Michigan, who looked pitiful against Fresno State. They really looked pitiful. Yep. I didn't think Texas looked great, though, to be honest with you. They go north. This isn't something these teams from Texas do very often. So what about Texas as a solid touchdown favorite over Michigan at the Big House?
I think both defenses are really good. And I think you're going to see a fairly low-scoring game. But there's one really weak unit out there, and it is the Michigan offense. This kid, Davis Warren, I just don't think he can get the job done against good defenses. He's like at best a backup. I think he looks like a third-string quarterback out there. I do think that they're going to end up making a change at quarterback, probably, maybe even in this game. So Texas's defense is just as good as Michigan's. On the road last year, they gave up just 9 rushing yards to Iowa State. Everyone's making a big deal about Michigan holding Fresno to 9 rushing yards. Fresno was a bottom 15 rushing attack on offense last year, and they're no better this year. Their coach ended up having to retire when fall camp started. So I just think that Davis Warren is like a game manager's manager. I think when we look back at this game, we're going to say, why wasn't this line like 13 or 14 points? Texas, 30-14.
The kid's a walk-on, the Warren kid. How do you go from the quarterbacks that they've had there, to a walk-on? When you're the national champion.
The backup. I watched the spring game. I thought he was better. So maybe they're seeing something I don't. They don't want to turn the ball over, but they get behind by 2 touchdowns. They might have to make a move. you ever go into fast food joints?
Yeah.
Like,
you look at me? You ever see me? Yeah, I mean, you look at me? I mean, of course I go into fast food joints.
Okay,
I mean,
what's your favorite fast food joint?
I'm actually a Hardee's guy. I like the Frisco at Hardee's. Yeah.
Davis Warren, I can see this guy looks like the manager. You have a problem?
Yeah.
Your fries are overcooked? You go see Davis Warren. He's not going to be the quarterback next year.
Not going to be quarterback next week, possibly. You know, we'll see how that works out.
He'll be a man. This kid's probably a nice kid, but he's probably going to be a manager. Fast food joint soon.
Last year, Auburn and Cal, that was a ugly game to watch. 14-10 game last year. I don't know how Cal scored. This Auburn defense is pretty good. I mean, probably the right play in this game is under. But in any event, Auburn is a 2-touchdown favorite, 13.5-point favorite at home against Cal. I think they only have to score about 20 to cover that because I don't think Cal scores. But anyway, what's your take on Auburn minus 13.5 against Cal?
It could be really tough for Cal to score. And I know the Cal quarterback. I saw this kid play. So he played at Columbus High School, which is literally 10 minutes from my house. I saw him play twice in high school. Fernando Mendoza might be a smart kid. And he was smart for going to Cal. Get the degree, son. He's just not a runner and not much of a passer. I mean, it's another game manager.
It's a great combination.
You know what? If Auburn couldn't get that next level quarterback, I like what they did. They put some really good receivers around him, and they have a really good young class of kids that came in. So this beefed up Auburn wide receiver core, I think, is going to help him out. Only thing Cal has is running back Jaden Odham. He's good. He's senior. He can carry the ball 30, 35 times. But I don't think he's going to find many places to run or catch the ball here. So I think this Auburn's offense is going to be trending up here. I think they win and cover here, 37-17.
You know, this Peyton Thorne, which my producer's is an Auburn fan, and he doesn't like Peyton Thorne at all. But if this whole football thing doesn't work out for him, Peyton Thorne could be the next Jesse Palmer. He could be doing commercials for Rooms to Go and be on The Bachelor. Very handsome young man. Came and sat down with me and joined me on the show at SEC Media Days. Keep an eye out for him someday, maybe as a male spokesperson type person, because I think that's what's in the future.
I haven't thought about that. So,
yeah, he'll be on The Bachelor at some particular point.
I heard it here first. So
you heard it here. I'm comfortable enough in my masculinity that I could say he's a handsome young man. That they're Peyton Thorne.
Wow, can you imagine being an SEC quarterback now? Imagine.
He's making more money now than probably ever making the pros.
my wife says to me sometimes, I don't know why this kid doesn't have a serious girlfriend. I'm like, I do.
He's a quarterback in the SEC. You kidding me?
Right.
Arizona State is a 6.5-point favorite against Mississippi State. SEC teams aren't used to being dogs to anybody, but talk to me about the Sun Devils here.
Sun Devils look really good. I mean, you talk about a team that was rolling opening week. Now they were helped out by the quarterback for Wyoming. You talk about a kid that has a bad game. Might have been one of the worst games I've ever seen a kid have, and couldn't do anything right. So Evan Swoboda, except for their last second score, they should have been blanked 48-0. Just think that Blake Shapen looked pretty good. I think that he had a really good mastery of the system. He got guys in the right place. He was distributing the ball to guys that can make plays. I mean, are they spectacular on offense, defense? No. But I think they're competitive. I don't think they're going to beat himself, and he needs to, run once in a while. He can make things happen with his legs. They haven't even run much yet. I think Arizona State's going to win this game like 30-27, but I'll take the points here. I think 6.5 maybe a little bit too much.
This Alabama-South Florida game is very interesting. Of course, South Florida hung with them last year down in Tampa in a monsoon. It was 3-3 at the half. Alabama wins 17-3. Now, Alex Gorlish, he was the offensive coordinator at Tennessee when they tore down the goalpost and threw him in the river. So this guy, he's been around a minute, gave him fits last year. The South Florida's got a really nice quarterback, that threw for over 3,000 yards, and he's a good-looking quarterback that they've got there. I don't think anybody on the Alabama fandom would be upset. Alabama wins the game by like 24 points or 3 touchdowns or something, but I don't know about the 31. What do you think here? Alabama laying 31, coming off of that beatdown that they put on Western Kentucky. Now laying 31, the same number as last week, this time against South Florida.
I'm thinking the same thing. And take nothing away from Alabama. They look great. I think South Florida is a pretty solid team. I think Byron Brown, really knows how to make plays, running and throwing the football. Their special teams, which were a little weak last year, they were, I think, like bottom 40. I think they're going to be much, much better. I was watching them. That's something, too, that can really, you give up a big return or the kicker misses a field goal. Their kicker last year, for some reason, I'd seen this kid in high school. He was spectacular. Was 11 for 16. I think his long was maybe something like 42 or 44 yards, but he hits a 52-yarder last week. And this kid's a rhythm kicker. When he's on, he can knock it through from 58 yards in. So I think this could be a tighter game. Like I said, Alabama should do well, should win the game pretty easily, but something like 41-21. Let's take the 31 points.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot of points. We got a real live SEC game between Kentucky and South Carolina. How did they get that one?
So we're going to do this first 5 callers. I have a real strong opinion on this game. First 5 callers, they call 800-400-9741. I'm going to give them the game for free. Again, the number, first 5 callers get this strong move on me, 800-400-9741. And started the season, now we're 10-2 since college football started. So you want to hop on board. We hit our big 40 to 50 unit play last week. We're now a career 66-23 documented since we started going to the 10 to 50 unit rating system. That's 74%. I have another 40 to 50 unit play going on Saturday. You can get what's called the September to Remember, 4 weeks through September 30th, just $497. You're going to get 10 to 13 games a week. You want to try us out just Sunday only? 5 games, $55. Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
Did you say you were 10-2 over the Labor Day weekend?
Since
football,
since the start
10-2
of Labor Day
just in
weekend.
football. Wow, that is incredible record. Lee Sterling has been our guest. All right, Lee, appreciate you, and have a great weekend this weekend. I will take your advice. I'll walk outside, maybe take the garbage out, throw the football at my grandson once, and consider that I did.
Also, if there's like a hoop, you see a kid, throw him a couple passes, bounce passes, tell him fundamentals, hit a couple layups, and you're all set. That's an activity.
All in a 14-minute halftime, and I could do that, and I can consider I did something outdoors. All right, man, appreciate you.
Walk the dog.
Yeah, walk the dog. That's what I was going to just say.
Hit the dog. We can hit the door and come all the way around 1 block, come back in 11 minutes and 54 seconds.
All right, could do that within the NFL halftime. You could get that in.
Yeah,
all right, good
you got
stuff.
a dog, right?
I got a dog. Yeah, I got a dog. Walk the dog.
That's an activity.
That's exactly an outdoor activity.
That's enrichment.
That's it. There you go. Now I feel much more comfortable about this weekend. All right, man. Appreciate you. All right.
All right. See you, bud. Take care.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Here's a dirty little secret. Can I tell you something? You know the show's an open wound, right? You've known me long enough that my show is always kind of an open wound, and I share everything. Are you ready for me to share something?
I am.
Can I share something? Okay. This morning, I popped positive for COVID. All right. I know I don't sound bad. I sounded a lot worse last week than I sound this week. But my wife has had COVID all week long, and I haven't stayed far enough away from her. I probably should have slept like in a different room or something, and I didn't. And I have not felt great. And but I'm sucking it up for the sake of the show. You know what I mean? I suck it up for the sake of the show. So this morning I thought, let me just take a shot here and just test to make sure I'm okay. And I popped positive for COVID. So I had things scheduled all day tomorrow. We had church on Sunday morning and everything. So it looks like I am going to be sequestered. I'm going to be quarantined for the entire weekend. and I'm going to have to just sit there and watch all of the college football and all of the pro games this weekend. And, getting COVID on the opening weekend in the NFL is probably not the worst thing in the world.
No, it's not. I'm curious though. Are you going to do the football game tonight on top of the press box? Or
yeah, so I am. I've talked to my color commentator, John Boy Dewey Magoo. Yeah. Well, here's the thing: where we are in the box is very secluded.
Yes,
way away, and it's a huge press box where we are. It's actually our room is actually a very big room. I can get quite a ways away from him, and we could, And I asked him, and he has had it, and he feels like he's immune. And he's like, I asked him, I said, look, I understand if you don't want me to, if you don't want to do the game or me to do the game. And he says, no. He says, I'm fine. So I said, all right, we'll just be like as far apart as we can be doing the game. It's not like I'm going to, kiss him or something, during a game. You'll be over there. I don't have to touch him. I don't have to touch his stuff. He doesn't have to touch my stuff. So I'm going to go and I do the game because I inquired about a couple of backup guys and nobody was available. We had a full slate of games tonight. And if you guys didn't have the Spark Man at our Austin game, I would have had you fill in for me.
I was thinking about that. I genuinely was, but Sparkman doesn't have a bye week until the last week of the regular season.
Yeah. They have no bye weeks. And, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my game tonight. And then after that, I am going to go ahead and do the quarantine thing. All right. I'm just going to do that. So, but I will walk the dog to get fresh air, and then I'll feel like I did an outdoor thing. All right. We get a break. When we come back, we start with Grumpy. He'll be up first. You'll be up right after him. 256-5764, 97.7. Get you into the show right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
Hey, Huntsville. Looking for action-packed events? The Huntsville Sports Commission is your hub for all things sports. From youth events to national tournaments, we've got events that thrill and inspire. Whether you're an athlete, a fan, or a volunteer, there's something for everyone. Cheer on your favorite teams, witness amazing talent, and be a part of the excitement. Check out our event calendar and get involved at huntsvillesports.com. That's huntsvillesports.com. Be there, Huntsville.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
And welcome back to Tom Abraham Show. So glad you are with us here on this Football Friday. This segment of the show is brought to you by Service Department at Woody Anderson Ford, the award-winning service department at Woody Anderson Ford. I mean, they can do it all down there. Sure, they do the regular maintenance stuff, but if you got a bigger problem, they got expert service technicians who quickly diagnose it, and they use the state-of-the-art tools to get it resolved. And, you know, they got that mobile service where they can come to you. They got a convenient mobile program, including things like oil changes and tire rotations or parts replacements, like a windshield wiper or lights or something like that. And if you're only available on the weekend or in the evening, they got the Quick Lane Service Department. That's your one-stop shop to service the brakes and the tires and the batteries. They do it all there. So no matter what the service your Ford needs, Woody Anderson ensures quick, professional, and exceptional service. By the way, quick note, Browns and Cowboys is Tom Brady's first game. It's coming up, a featured game on Fox on Sunday. Deshaun Watson's father died, passed away. And Watson did post on X, rest in peace, Pops. Now, if you're wondering whether or not that will impact Deshaun Watson for Sunday's game, he was not very close to his dad at all. In fact, he told the Houston Chronicle back in 2017 that he had seen his father maybe 5 times at most. And he said, basically, my mother was my mother and my father. And, you know, he said my friends had fathers, but for me, it was just kind of, hey, my mother is the one that I rely on and that I always focus on. So he was not like he was real close to his mom, but I mean, it's still his dad, and his dad died. And, you know, so there is that. I don't know if it'll affect anything. Browns are a 2.5-point favorite in that game. All right, let's get to the lines. We're getting ready to jump on board the Friday trifecta. We have got Texas at -7.5 at Michigan. We have got Cal getting 13.5 on the Plains. We've got NC State getting 10.5 against Tennessee. And in the bonus, the Steelers get 2.5 in the ATL. By the way, does anybody know where Wolverine Dan is, or Natty Danny? We haven't heard from Natty Danny in a minute. Did he go on another one of his trips? I think he must be on one of his trips. You know, that Bama Brad or somebody, or let me know. We have not heard from him all week long. We have not heard from him all week long. Ever since Michigan lost to Fresno State by -10. I know they won the game. Felt like they lost it. But we have not heard from him. At least Sterling just said Texas is going to obliterate Michigan at Michigan. I don't know. I'm on Michigan and beat the big dog, with those points. Now we go to the lines. We start. Did Grumpy go away?
Yeah, he left. We replaced him with LSU Lynch.
All right, so why not? I mean, they are two brothers from the same mother. All right, LSU. So Grumpy was holding, and LSU Lynch is taking his spot. These two guys always call right on top of each other. I think they communicate with each other, and they say, hey, let's call Tom now. LSU Lynch is up. Lynch, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thought you have to laugh about it because we get it. Lord, that's so funny. Let's get with these picks and everything.
All right, we've got Texas -7.5 at Michigan.
I'm going to take the Suckhorn.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't.
Oh, you went with,
Don't mess with Texas.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right. Cal is getting 13.5 at Auburn.
I got to take the Auburn.
Going to take.
Are you guys going to put us in with 3 losses in the playoff?
NC State gets 10.5 at Tennessee. Well, against Tennessee in Charlotte.
And listening to your boy talk right there, I it's still, Tennessee at home. Give me Tennessee.
You can't spell citrus without UT.
Remember, it's not in Knoxville. It's in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I forgot. But it's still, yeah.
And then the Steelers, our first NFL game of the year, the Steelers get 2.5 against the Falcons. The Falcons.
I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with the ATL and everything.
The Falcons are headed to the Super Bowl.
It doesn't matter if I lose. Now look here. You gave you gave Suckboy about 7-8 minutes a while ago. So I want to tell you this, and then I hang up because there's a lot of fans that listen to your show.
Yeah.
There's one of them right now. She's a great friend of mine. Her name is Nanny, and then she got a grandson named Eli. They like the team that sells the Jack Daniels. Okay. She listens to your show every day on her lunch break, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. What's her name?
We call her Nanny.
Nanny? Okay, Nanny. Appreciate you listening, Nanny.
Yeah. We call her Nanny. So yeah, she heard me yesterday on your boss's show and everything too. So, but she's a great. Like I said, man, there's a lot of people that listen to the show, and I always promote this. Y'all listening that don't call in, just call in. Call into the show. We want to hear from you. All right.
Appreciate you, Lynch. He's the quickest. He's got the quickest hang up in the business. That dude there, you never catch him.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that.
No, you'd never catch him. You always get the click with him. Yeah, I appreciate what he says about people calling the show, but I also know that there are a ton more people that listen. I hear from people all the time. I don't call the show, but I listen. I never called a show. I mean, I don't call anybody's show, and I listen to Sports Talk Radio. There's a lot more people that listen, and it's nice to hear from first timers and new listeners and things like that. It's certainly good, but I've always said I'm looking for some characters to bring some heat to the show, and I don't need to have a million callers. We got content to give you as well, but certainly on a day like today, it's a very interactive show. Bulldog Johnny is next. Bulldog Johnny, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing, big dog?
I am fantastic.
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and do your trifecta, and then I got one more for you.
All right. Texas is minus 7.5 at Michigan.
Definitely take.
You don't buy anything because it makes sense. You do it because you love it, or because you're an Uber driver.
Texas. Cal gets 13.5 at Auburn.
Auburn.
Are you guys going to put us in with 3 losses in the playoff?
NC State gets 10.5 in Charlotte against UT.
I think Tennessee's going to win that one.
I can assure you that the gap is closing.
And then the Steelers get 2.5 at the Falcons.
I'm going to take my Dirty Birds.
The Falcons are headed to the Super Bowl.
This could be the year. All right, what was the other take you had, Johnny?
Just for a bonus, I'm going to let you know, I think the revenge tour, Alabama runs away with it, all 31.5 points.
Yeah, I mean, there is
revenge tour. I think Milrose got a little bit of salt in his mouth. He's going to show out, is what I think.
I think so too, but I do think that, this quarterback is pretty good for South Florida, and Alex Gorlish has a lot of experience, going against Alabama as well. This is a different defense. Now, that defense that he scored to 55 points against at UT is not this defense, so this is a different looking defense. But I do think that there is a revenge factor in there, but I also think that it wouldn't blow my mind that, if South Florida scored a couple of touchdowns, stuck one in late, get the backdoor cover on 31 points. It's just so many points.
Yeah,
Alabama wins by 24, it's like,
Yeah, and I basically just wanted to hear you kind of elaborate on that, but I feel like it's in the air, and I feel like Milrose going to light it up. And I think Alabama's got every right and every ability to light it up.
Yeah. Well, they do. Let's say they score 44 points. Let's say they go out there and they score 44 points. And if they win the game 44-20, everybody will be like, oh, they hammered them. They beat them 44-20. It was 44-14. And yeah.
I feel like maybe at the most 14 points. Definitely not 20. I think Alabama is, like I said, not just Milroe. I think Alabama itself is going to show out in this game.
Yeah.
I think they're going to light up the scoreboard. I predict 48-13 is my prediction.
All right. So 48-13 just gets the cover in. But if it's 44-13, that's right on the number. But see what I'm saying? 44-13 feels like a blowout, right? 44-13 it'd be like, oh my God, they destroyed them. Oh, right on the number.
We'll call it 45-13.
There you go.
I'll take that back.
All right, 45-13. All right, I hope they don't kick a field goal late or something, and then the next thing you know, we don't cover. All right, man. Good job by you. That's the thing that's tricky about it. It's like last night, Joe. I mean, last night, you're sitting there with Kansas City -3. And that game is going 10. It went 3, then 10, and then back to 3, and then 10, right? So now all of a sudden, it's, they kicked the field goal. It was at 10. Baltimore kicks the field goal. So now you're sitting there. They got 87 yards to go to tie the game and feeling pretty good if you got Kansas City -3. Like the only thing they're going to hurt you here is if they go to length of the field and score a touchdown. Just keep them out of the end zone because they're not going to kick a field goal. It wouldn't matter. So sure enough, they go all the way down the field, and now you're sitting there and you see this guy missing wide open guys in the end zone, right? He misses the guy in the back corner wide open. Then he misses the guy right over to Tay Flowers is wide open. He misses him. I mean, Flowers, the pass was so bad, Flowers didn't even reach for it. He missed him by so much. Then he hits the kid in the back of the end zone. Did you see when they showed the shot of John Harbaugh on the sideline right after it looked like the kid had scored the touchdown?
No, I did not see. I just focused on the foot. That's all I focused on the whole time.
And it looked like he was out right from the beginning too, but they called the touchdown so that they can look at it. But anyway, as soon as they shot the sideline, John Harbaugh had 2 fingers in the air. They were going for 2.
They were going for ball game.
They were going ball game with no time on the clock. They were going ball game. So now, let's just say you're a bettor. I don't know anything about this, but let's just say I do. So now I'm sitting here thinking, okay, if you got Kansas City -3, and if they really did just score, they're going to kick the extra point. It's 2020, and now you're hoping for Kansas City to win in overtime. Even if they kick a field goal, that saws it off. It wasn't 3.5. It was 3 right on the number. So, okay, Kansas City's going to score. They're going to get a field goal. They're going to stop them. Kansas City wins the game by a field goal. If we get really lucky, they score a touchdown. But if they kick a field goal, we're okay because we're sitting on 3. Oh, wait a minute. He's going for 2, which means there's only 2 results. The only 2 results is that they win by 1 or they lose by 1. And in both cases, they cover the 3, the Ravens. And so here, think of the emotions. So you're sitting there. Let's just say you're sitting there in the bed and you're watching a game and you might have Kansas City -3. Let's just say somebody, I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, anybody outside the state of Alabama. Let's just say
anybody else. Let's just say somebody else, for recreational purposes. Let's say you got Kansas City -3 and that, let's say maybe you live 14 miles north of the border. And, I'm just saying you're sitting there, you're watching a game. And then all of a sudden they go, oh, wait a minute, we got to look at this. So you went from figuring out a way to get out of this bet with a saw-off, with a field goal, to being, oh, my God, they're going to lose the game. They'll lose the bet either way with the 2-point conversion, or they don't make the 2-point conversion. The Ravens are going to cover, to being the actual toe of his shoe is barely touching a blade of grass that has white in the back of the end zone. Good night, everybody. The bet covers.
And I personally was extremely happy about it. The other person that should be happy with this one had nothing to do with the football game.
No.
And that's actually Deion Sanders because Likely was wearing the primetime cleats from the 1990s. And they just got a ton of coverage because those cleats were so sweet. I had a pair of them when I was in 4th grade. Those things were amazing. And that was the only good thing that came out of it. Prime sitting there going, hey, you're helping me out.
Dude's toe was in. His shoe was out.
Yeah, his shoe was out. And it was in. And the other thing is you can't even argue that the heel landed before the toe did on it because his front toe was the first thing that went down. It wasn't even he got 1 foot in and then the second one went out. No, that shoe was the first foot down.
So I'll dispute one thing with you. 3 people are happy. Okay. Chief fan is happy. Dion is happy. And Chiefs -3 guy is happy.
Oh, yeah. They're extremely happy.
We're going to break. We'll come back. And Keith, the Michigan fan, is next. Johnny on the cell is behind him. You can jump in behind those guys right now. 256-576-4977. It's the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
He'll gain only a half yard, and now second effort. Did they blow it? They did not. They couldn't bring down Pacheco.
The NFL season is officially underway. The action courtesy of the Chiefs Radio Network in Thursday night's season opening 27-20 win over the Ravens. Last night's game, a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. Patrick Mahomes, 20 of 28 passing for 291 yards with a touchdown, 1 interception. Kansas City was favored by 2.5. The over was 47. Tonight in San Paulo, Brazil, the Eagles and Packers battle. Philadelphia by 2.5. Green Bay plus 110. The over under 49.5. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash, and the freezer's free, and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling sluggish? Gentlemen, Game Day Men's Health. Game Day Men's Health is here to help you. Braden is here. Braden, you've got the answers.
Thanks, Scott. Whether it's low T, erectile dysfunction, weight loss, or a number of other things, we have the solution for them.
It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call today at
256-850-1570.
You can find them online.
GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, what man wouldn't like to have tests done in a man cave?
That's right. Come in for your free test and consultation, walk into a world-class staff, a comfortable, relaxed environment, and we got your results in about 20 minutes with appointments less than an hour.
And the big game is always on the TV. It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call.
256-850-1570.
You can find them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Huntsville/The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Looking for your next adventure to be out of this world but don't have enough money to buy a spaceship and leave orbit? Well, look no further than Divergence VR theme park off of Governor's Drive Southwest in Huntsville, Alabama. Are zombies more your style? How about driving your favorite cars on the world's fastest track? Or maybe a gorilla game that has you climbing up tall trees to escape other gorillas? Wait, that's actually a thing? Huh. Would you look at that? For whatever adventure you can dream of, call 256-203-4128 to get your VR adventure started now.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly to mostly cloudy sky through a good majority of the afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. Maybe a rogue shower across the Tennessee Valley, but just like the last several days, most of us are probably going to end up staying dry. We drop into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. The weekend looks absolutely fantastic. We're talking about a mostly to partly sunny sky. Temperatures only climbing into the low 80s. No rain. Oh, and by the way, it's not going to be humid. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And welcome back to Thom Abraham Show. This segment of the show is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center, where thousands of area residents have gotten world-class care from the Valley's most trusted and experienced group of orthopedic surgeons and medical specialists. TOC servicing the Huntsville Havoc, Alabama A&M, most of the high schools in the region, including 13 locations all throughout the Tennessee Valley, including in Fayetteville as well, for those of you listening in Tennessee. If you have an orthopedic problem or considering professional care, TOC is the only logical choice. Whether you got a work-related injury or got sidelined playing the sport you love, you need the best care, the best physicians, the best facility to get you back in the game. Stay in the game with TOC. Let's go back to the lines. Up next is Keith, the Michigan fan. Keith, welcome in. How are you?
Doing pretty good, Big Dog. How about you?
Wow, fantastic.
As always, I want to get these picks in, but
All right,
everybody.
Everybody, what?
Oh, I was going to say, looking at Michigan's first game, talking about how bad they played. True, they did play bad offensively, but Will Johnson, the defensive back who had pick 6, he was supposed to be playing some offense. So I guess they was just saving him for this week for Texas.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, the bigger problem is your quarterback. I mean, that guy.
Yeah, well, actually, I thought that Orgy was supposed to start, but I see why he couldn't. I was telling my buddy in Detroit, we text back and forth during the game, and he had a guy wide open 15 yards from him, threw the ball on the ground. So that explains why he's not the starter. Now, he can run. He's one of the best athletes on the field, but he can't throw the ball for some reason. But anyway, he's been there long enough to learn how.
You would think they would be loaded with quarterbacks, after the run that they've had. But Texas is minus 7.5. What do you think?
Oh, Michigan, of course.
I believe that the head coach of Michigan football is one of the finest jobs in American sports today.
Cal gets 13.5 at Auburn.
I'm gonna go with Auburn.
Are you guys going to put us in with 3 losses in the playoff?
NC State gets 10.5 against UT in Charlotte.
Got to go with Texas. I mean, not Texas, Tennessee.
You can't spell citrus without UT.
And the Steelers get 2.5 in Atlanta.
Steelers.
Man, the Pittsburgh Steelers need a new fucking offensive coordinator. This guy sucks.
You like that one? It's old Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
All right, man. We got you, and have a great weekend.
You do the same.
Grumpy is up next. Grumpy, welcome to the show. How are you?
Give me this
He's ordering. He's in the McDonald's drive-thru. Grumpy!
Hey, man. Hey, I'm
Hey.
okay. Well, Gam, man, I can't wait on hold an hour while we're rambling.
Well, you shouldn't call during the interview. When I got the Lee Sterling on.
Well, how about this? How about Homeboy tells me there's an interview coming up when I call in and they're in a commercial. He doesn't give you any warning. And then you wait till the commercial's over and find out Lee Sterling's on. It's like, why didn't you tell me that in the first place? It's not.
I said Lee Sterling's coming up next. I said it.
I wasn't listening to the show then. Listen, how about this? If there's a commercial and you answer the phone and there's an interview coming up, the caller might not know there's an interview coming up.
All right,
And
Joe.
listen,
Well, see,
man,
Joe's used to
trying
big
kill
city. He's used to big city radio where you just put people on hold, and if they got to wait, they wait. Yeah. What can I tell you? Just
Okay,
saying.
man, then let's do it. Yeah, we want to do it that way. That's fine, man. Let's do it. Let's do the 3. Let's do the 3 so I can get off the air. How about that?
Texas is minus 7.5.
I'll take Texas.
You don't buy a Lincoln because it makes sense.
All right. Cal gets 13.5 at your Auburn Tigers.
I'll take Auburn.
War Eagle. NC State gets 10.5, and that is in Charlotte against UT.
UT on their way to a national championship has to win, so they'll win.
I can assure you that the gap is closing.
Everybody is on UT.
And hey, listen, Gus Malzahn got receivers wide open, and overthrow Bo couldn't hit them. So I don't want to hear from the guy answering the phone that it was Gus Malzahn's that blew it with Bo Nix, because
how
don't
come he
know
never
what, you
performed,
don't know
though?
what you're talking about. You're just shooting from the hip.
But Gus, he's an Auburn fan, but Gus
That's even worse. You would think he'd know what he was talking about.
Outside of the defensive back he had when he first got there, Gus didn't develop any of these quarterbacks. I mean, think about it. You got to admit, Gus didn't do anything.
I'll tell you what Gus did do. He got receivers wide open, and Bo couldn't hit them, and he wasn't under. Don't tell me about the offensive line. I was at the games. I saw it. The whole crowd was booing the guy because he couldn't hit a receiver in the flat, standing out there by himself.
Are you sure you're not talking about Jared Stidham? How does he go to Oregon and it hits everybody? I mean, I don't know.
I don't watch Oregon football games, but I can speak to what I saw. And at Auburn, he couldn't hit an open receiver. He wasn't good enough to play for Auburn. Put it that way. When he was here, he wasn't good enough to play for Auburn. Figure out the puzzle pieces if you want to, but I witnessed it, man. That's why I called him Overthrow Bo when I was calling this show for several years.
Now he's the captain of the Denver Broncos. So I don't know. I mean, it just seems weird. All right, the Steelers get 2.5 at the Falcons.
Oh, I thought we were done. I'm sorry. I'll take whoever the home team is.
The Falcons are headed to the Super Bowl.
All right.
Okay, man.
Appreciate you. Grumpy is especially grumpy today. You see where he got the name. He's especially grumpy today.
Look, I mean, you can't blame him. I mean, when Auburn had amazing wide receivers like Will Hastings and Sal Cannella and Eli Stove and Anthony Schwartz and Seth Williams, I mean, like those guys today, I don't know a single fantasy football head coach that doesn't have those guys on their team. Absolutely. Wide receivers wide open. And I'm sorry, what's Bo Nix doing? He's starting in the NFL right now. I don't know.
Captain. They named him the captain of the team.
I think Anthony Schwartz may have played in like 2 games for the Browns in his career.
Oh, he was so all he could do is run. He could run, but he couldn't catch us. Cold.
But Bo Nix was
bad. He did look bad, but I don't know. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, you got to Stidham. I mean, you look at Gus. I mean, he didn't develop anybody there. All right, let's get a break. We'll come back and see if we can't get Badularia and Redneck Romeo in there to end it. It's the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Situated downtown on Clinton Avenue, you'll find the Church Street family's take on delicious seafood and more. Sea Salt. At Sea Salt, the food speaks for itself. Fresh oysters, shrimp and lobster, and non-seafood fare. Plus a large selection of wines, regional and local beers on tap, and a full bar. Catch the downtown vibe with Sea Salt's unique outdoor city street and patio seating with a view of Jesse Andrews' mural, bringing an underwater world to life. No reservations necessary. Sea Salt, 114 Clinton Avenue.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? My phone rings in my office.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're the ones who take your call.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
Your representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
It's time to get ready for game day. That means Alabama football and tailgate. Whether you're tailgating at home or at Bryant-Denny, visit Brooks & Collier for North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers like Big Green Egg, Blaze, Delta Heat, Memphis, and Traeger. Satisfy any palate with our wall of rubs and seasonings. For all your tailgating needs, visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for over 75 years. Roll Tide.
Listen to the Bama Recap Show, presented by Lawler's Barbecue.
The tackle. Williams, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 2 electric early
on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Let's see how many of these we can get in. It's, by the way, it's the 2-minute warning brought to you by Minuteman Press. For all your printing needs, it's Minuteman Press, and promotional needs, Minuteman Press. So my call screen right now, this is always great when you're breaking in a new producer, even if he was your old producer. My call screen says Bachelor Larry and Redneck Pinocchio. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's Badger Larry and Redneck Romeo.
Hey, you know what? Phone lines, cell phones break up a little bit, so we're all good. But I mean, hey, I'm an Auburn fan that doesn't know what he's talking about, so Bo Nix sucks. So that's that's that.
Badger Larry, welcome in. How are you?
I'm okay, but I think Joe got a hold of one of Grumpy's gummies or something because Grumpy was off the chain, and now Joe's.
I don't think Grumpy has enough of those gummies.
Grumpy was extra grumpy today. Somebody peed in his Cheerios, I think. I don't know what's going on with Grumpy today.
It wasn't Bo Nix because he says he couldn't hit him.
Bo Nix tried to pee in his Cheerios and missed the bowl. So, all right, give me your picks quick. Texas minus 7.5.
I'll make it easy. I'm taking all the dogs, and I wanted to let you know that Wolverine Dan is in Scotland, so he's on the trip.
Okay.
And Bama Brad is doing the Route 66 thing out in New Mexico, Arizona, all that kind of stuff. They're both out there.
Yeah. All right, Larry, we got you in.
I'm heading up to the motherland next week for the game. So,
I hope you don't enjoy that. So, good job by you. All right. Harry says, Tom, with your heart condition and age, don't take chances. COVID is legit. It's a legit reason for caution for people with health issues like you have. I don't got no health issues. But yes, I will do the best I can to take care of myself over the weekend. All right, that's going to do it. You guys that got left on hold, go ahead and get it in through the text window. Have a great weekend, everybody.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, another move in what has been a busy offseason in Miami. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting the Dolphins and quarterback Jalen Ramsey agreed on a 3-year extension, $24 million a season, makes him the highest paid corner in NFL history, for the second time in his career. Previously this offseason, Miami got extensions done with quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, receiver Jalen Waddle, and coach Mike McDaniel, also reworked receiver Tyreek Hill's deal. Questions about the status of Steelers quarterback Russell Wilson against the Falcons Sunday. Limited at practice yesterday with tightness in the same calf he injured during training camp. If Wilson can't play, Justin Fields goes in his place. U.S. Open men's semis on ESPN. Top seed Yannick Sinner faces Jack Draper, 3 Eastern. And then an All-American matchup under the lights. Francis Tiafoe, Taylor Fritz at 7 Eastern.
Everything you could want comes down to this.
Welcome to Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Capital One. Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You know, this process is all about talking ball.
Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
What did they want privacy for? To just start talking ball.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The weekend's full of surprises. From Williams Price to Death Valley. On the Fine Bomb Show, Paul's on the road. If he don't get the best of me, call Paul. He'll make sense of it all. Kneeling up on Rocky Top, the Razorbacks are hard to stop. War Eagles soared in the wind. Tigers rocking in Missouri, Wildcats are grinning too. Boomer Sooner rolling up again. Well, Bevo's bound to hook 'em. He'll catch you if you're not looking. Watch out for the tide that's rolling in. The weekend's full of surprises, from big upsets to rivalries. On the Five Mom Show, heads are gonna roll. If they don't get the best of me, call Paul. He'll make sense of it all. Yeah, call Paul. He'll make sense of it all. Yeah, call Paul.
Second week of the season, and we are live in the Commonwealth, Lexington, Kentucky. That football stadium right behind us, and the Cat fans are fired up because they've got a couple of big weekends in a row. Next week, the Dogs come to town. This week, the Gamecocks. Good afternoon. We're in here for the next 4 hours. We always try to begin with two people that need no introduction. So Roman Harper and Tim Tebow, who knows a little bit about playing in that stadium behind us.
Oh, that's awesome. I love coming